that's 1 thou. What we'll do is move down. We'll go ahead and get this one true because it's going to move around some. 6.5 thou. One thou. Alright. I'm going to move back to this end and indicate this one in, come back down here. I'm going to keep doing that until I get this thing running completely concentric. It'll probably take me maybe 3 times of doing that. Alright, that's less than 2 thousandths now on this other end. I ended up going back and forth a total of 4 times. It's only taken me just a few minutes here. So we've got it within a 0.5 thousandths run out. I don't know if you guys can see that or not because of the reflection. It's just flickering. See if you can see it better there. All right, we'll move it down here to this end. Same thing. Less than a 0.5 thou run out, so we're running pretty good now. Give it the old spin check and see. Yeah, it looks close enough. Alright, you guys can take a breath now. Rest a little easier. We're putting our steady rest on it. I'm just doing this to make sure that there's no chips, any of the fine matter that's getting caught up on those rollers there. Alright, we got a little bit of pressure. The bottom two is already set and locked. Now I just need to find a guard to put on there to try to protect the chips and hopefully not damage that surface. So it is a little bit of stick out, but the reason I'm doing the steady rest this time is because the chuck jaws are only catching a small area of it, you know, with those brass. The way that I was holding it before, the serrations on those jaws really bite in and hold really good. So not much worry about it trying to move around. With this setup right here, it can move around pretty easy. There's a chip guard I found that I had cut to 8 1/4, so it just did fit on there. I went ahead and just split it and put it on there, and I just used a couple magnets to hold it in place. That should work pretty good there. Try to eliminate the chips from going in there, but you still have to deal with, sometimes they'll pop up and then go in behind it, but this will catch most of them here. Using our tape here tells us that we got approximately 1 inch to come off the end of this, and I tried to set it up so that I could turn and bore that, or I already bored it, but turn it and have it past where it needs to be faced, but I didn't feel good about chucking just a little bit of that, so we're gonna have to face it, and then there's gonna be a little area here that I got to turn down to the same diameter. That's an 1/8 of an inch we're facing off there. So how are you going to measure the end length, total end to end? Good question. I don't know either. Here's an idea I got. Stick our veneers in there. Let's see here. it's kind of tricky getting it squared up. Come on, lock it first. But because it's difficult to hold the back of the caliper square, I'm going to do a reading like this. Instead of trying to pull it out and cocking it and moving it, I'm just going to read it, do a direct reading right here. $250, 60, 70. Looks like 275. Looks like the 25 is lined up there. So 16 inches, 275 is what I'm going to call it. Just for conversation purposes, if you wanted to, you could use a depth gauge against the face here and run it out to the face of the four-jaw chuck. But the thing you got to be careful about is that this face may not be butted completely up against the chuck down there, so you may be getting an error if you do it that way. I got our end link done using my vernier calipers. I measured 16.189. And considering that the print called out a fractional dimensional length of 16 3/16, I figured 2000s is close enough, right? That should put us within the ballpark. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move to this OD. Once I get this turned down, this will be it. Turn this down, chamfer the OD, the ID, and this job will be done. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to take a big gigantic cut, because that cut will pull this part out of those jaws with it just being held with brass shims. We've still got about 23 thousandths to come off the OD there. I was just checking the run out. Looks like we're 2 or 3 tenths run out, so that's pretty good. We're going to make a couple finishing passes here to get it down to size. All right, let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 thousandths is what we need to dial in. I'm just seeing where we're at. Let me check that again. It's 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. I also want to watch it and see if it blends in right here. Okay, here we go. It's 10. There's 11. There's 12. It's just touching it.